Hey, it's Gary. If you're watching this live, I'd love to have you give me a 1 in the comments. If you're watching this on a replay, give me a 3 in the comments. Also, today being Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, I am doing a really awesome live web class for those of you who are speakers, authors, consultants, high-end professionals. If you want to learn how we make $50,000 in a day, how we create programs or events like $100,000 in a day. How's it even possible? I want to show you beyond a shadow of a doubt how it's possible, and hopefully more impossible for you, especially if you have a message to share to the world. Anyway, so let's get today's subject. I'll try to put the link below. If I don't get to the point of being able to put a link below to that live registration, go ahead and ask for it. Say, hey, type in live class. Yeah, type in the word live class in the comments, and somebody on my team will get you that registration link. So I want to share with you about the topic today would be the belief that caused this woman to be suicidal and commit suicide. And I am so strong about the power of beliefs and a proponent on showing people how to change their beliefs. And it's not just beliefs, there's more to it, but that's just one side of things. So I'm going to tell you the story about this lady, and I had met her years ago. We were in the same loop of friends, and I remember coming over to her house one day, and as I'm in her home, she was sitting over here, then it was her mother across from her, and then beside her was her sister. And the subject came up about depression. And I am not a foreigner to depression and incredible extreme emotions. As some of you may know, everything from my father being murdered, wife telling me my baby's not mine. I mean, I could go on and on. I left a cult, and when you leave that cult, your so-called friends and family are a program that treats you as if you're dead, shun you for life. So I know what it means and feels like, to be incredibly lonely, have thoughts of suicide. So as we're talking about this subject, I noticed she would say things like, she started talking about how she was on medication and she's constantly depressed, and you can see it in her. And then she made a comment. And here was the comment. My depression is hereditary. And then she pointed to my mom. My mom's on medication. She points to her sister. My sister's on medication. I'm on medication. So I asked her one question. And the reason I asked this one question that I'm going to share with you in just a moment, the reason I asked this one question, and I do this with so many people that I either work with or want to work with me, to see if there's a spot there in their mind where they're willing to open up their mind a little bit and open to some other new thoughts. So I said to her, what if you chose not to believe that? How would things be different? Let me repeat that question. What if you chose not to believe that? Not to believe what? That my depression was hereditary. What if you chose not to believe that, and how would things be different? Her mind did not even open up a nanosecond, not for a moment, not even a millimeter, all right? So that's Winnie back there. Winnie? So she just said, what are you talking about? How is that possible? That doesn't make any sense. My mother's got depression, my sister's got depression. But just what if for a moment she decided to believe that? Think about that. I'm going to have to get Winnie in a second. It's too distracting. Bear with me. So if I got her to open up her mind a little bit, by asking that question, I know her mind would be a little bit open if she said something like, well, what do you mean? What are you getting at? But we didn't even get to that point. We got to, well, my mother's, on depression, or antidepressants. My mother's depressed all the time. She wouldn't even open her mind to that. So my question to you is, and I'm going to go deeper to let you know what happened later on. My question to you is, what are some of the beliefs that maybe you've been very closed-minded to? Let me get this bird. Oh, you can be so distracting. There's Winnie. Hi. Say hi to everybody, Winnie. So what are some beliefs that you might be buying into right now that you're not willing to open up your mind to? And a lot of times you don't even know that you're not willing to open up your mind to, because if you're not careful, you'll make excuses. And the worst thing about people who make excuses, they don't even know they're making them. Ooh, think about that. The worst thing about making excuses is people who make excuses don't even know they're making excuses. To them, it's a reason. It's not an excuse. So you can't change what you don't acknowledge. All I was trying to get her to acknowledge was the possibility of opening up her mind. The possibility is, if this were to happen, or if I thought this way, this could possibly happen. And that's what happens when we think the worst of things. Something's going on. Oh my God, what if? But what if we change it to the, what if it turned out okay? What if I bought into this belief? What if I changed this thinking? What could happen differently? So, I don't know, I guess it was maybe 3 months later, something like that. I'm around one of her friends, and he's on the phone, and he's like, it's evident that he's quite frantic. And I said, what's going on? And he said, well, something's wrong with, what's her name? I'm going to have to get over to her house real quickly. I just got a phone call. So I go with him, and we get to her apartment, and we're looking around. It's very, very quiet. We look in the bathroom, and she has the bathtub filled, I don't know, maybe halfway full of water. And then she had a portable heater, and I can't remember if it was on or not, but it was obvious that she tried to plug it in and take the portable heater and drop it in the bathtub with her to electrocute herself. But the cord wasn't long enough. So needless to say, she's inside. When we look inside the bathroom, she's not there. So I get out of the bathroom and I walk over to her bedroom, and there she is, naked, in the bed. She had OD'd. Wow. So my thought process with that is, what if for just a moment, you opened up your mind when a question was asked to you, what if you chose not to believe that? That could literally have changed the trajectory of her life. So how could it have changed that? Well, let's put ourselves in her shoes. We asked the question, what if you chose not to believe that? All right, so let's open up our minds a little bit. Okay, what if I chose not to believe that? Okay, well, if I chose not to believe that, I would have to change the belief that it's hereditary, and because it's hereditary, I have to have medication. Now, I'm not saying it's not hereditary. I'm not saying it is. That's a whole nother video, right? Whole nother chat. But she could say, well, okay, if it's not hereditary, what could it be? If it's not hereditary, that means maybe it's something I could control. How would I control it? What are the thoughts that I have now that, if I don't control, lead me down a path of destruction or possible suicide? You see where I'm going? So the opportunity of the way we look at things start to change over and over and more. I want you to be thinking the same way. Think about certain beliefs. And like I said, it's hard to catch your own beliefs sometimes, because I'm obsessed to try to figure out whatever it is I believe. Never believe what you believe. Don't believe everything you believe, right? Because everything you believe may not be true. So that's why I always try to have a very, very open mind, because what I believe, stop and think about things that you believed 10, 20, 30 years ago, 5 years ago, 3 months ago. There are some beliefs that you bought into years ago that you don't believe anymore because something happened to cause you to open up your mind and change the way you think. So I just encourage you to look for things that maybe that you're being limited in your life. Your spirituality, your diet, your weight, your relationships, your finances. Might there be a belief or two that you're holding on to that's keeping you from having more success in your life? For example, financially, are you the type of person who has to believe that you have to have that job? You have to trade time for money as opposed to making money work for you. Why do you not do that if you don't? What's the limited beliefs? What about relationships? What are the beliefs that you have that maybe keeps you from having a more successful relationships? So I'm always constantly diving into my own belief system and having an open mind to figure out, okay, I have an open mind to know that there's times that I know there's ways and opportunities out there that if I change my thinking, I'd be more open to them and get more results. Anyway, something for you to think about. Hope you've enjoyed today's videos. Love to see your comments below. And look forward to seeing you on today's live web class. If you get the opportunity, again, type in live class in the comment below and somebody in my team will send you a link for that. That's today at 2:30. Thanks for your time. Love to see your comments below. I'm out of here. Between now and the next time we get to chat, you know what to do. Don't let anything or anyone